Hello, everyone. Welcome back to On Point Politics. And today I'm going to be doing another scenario, basically showing the 2024 election if Donald Trump goes against Kamala Harris. Now, the reason why I'm going to do this is because it's seemingly more likely that Joe Biden might actually be replaced by the VP slot and Donald Trump will probably face Kamala Harris in the 2024 election. This is not my official prediction that happens every Friday, but I'm going to be doing this hypothetical scenario to show you guys the state of the race as of right now. Now, before we get started with the video, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post bell notifications so you don't miss another video that I post. And without further ado, let's get into the video. And so, for the safe states, we could basically say that the Great Plains states would basically be super, super safe for Donald Trump. He would perform exceptionally well in these states. He'd win Ohio and Iowa by quite a couple of bit of percentage points. He'd probably win them close by over 15 points. If we do actually look here, guys, this is the RCP average for the election. Trump is above 50%, with Harris down at 42. Trump leads her by 8.5 points on the aggregate, which is just an insane lead. Hypothetically, if this were to actually be applied to a presidential poll, if this were to actually be applied to a poll, it would be a disaster. And here's the thing, guys. The reason the incumbent approval rating is a little bit iffy because this scenario, it depends on whether or not Biden is still the incumbent. Like if Biden is the incumbent president and she's just running, then this approval rating would probably be closer to like 20. But if it's like Kamala Harris, the RCP average would probably be close to like 25 points, which would be absolutely insane. And for the sake of this video, I mean, these polling averages would get way worse for Harris, just to be clear. I'm just merely using all of the current averages. But let's say, okay, Biden's lowest approval rating was minus 23 from NBC News. Let's say that's the hypothetical, scenario. We go over here. So let's say that Biden is technically still the incumbent, but Kamala Harris is running instead. Let's say that that is the case. And I feel like that would honestly be better for Harris because she wouldn't have that incumbent stigma on her. I feel like if she was actually the incumbent, it would go even worse for her. So, okay, let's say, all right, 8.5, the popular vote swings 13 points, and you have a minus 23 approval rating. All of these swing states are gone for the Democrats. They're gone. All of the swing states are gone. The Rust Belt would be over 10 percentage points. Arizona and Nevada are also over 10 percentage points. Georgia is also at 13.1. North Carolina is completely gone as well. So Donald Trump has 305 safe electoral votes. More than likely, Alaska would be safe. The Maine second district would end up being safe. If we go here, states like Minnesota and New Hampshire would be likely margins on the map. These states would be likely margins on the map, which is absolutely insane, guys. This is crazy. You can see Illinois is within 5. It's literally only like a point win. If you look at the second district, Nebraska, it's a likely margin for Trump. Trump wins it by a likely margin. He wins Maine at large by a likely margin. And if you look at the first district, it actually falls under that 10-point margin, which is even worse. And a lot of these states are significantly closer. So if we were to start filling these out, a lot of these are way closer than before. Rhode Island, Connecticut, Delaware are under the 10-point wins. And New Jersey is a lean margin on the map. And if we go to some of these other states, if we go over here and we look at states like, for example, Oregon and Washington, Oregon falls under the likely category. And if we look at a state like New York, it is in fact likely, and the state of Illinois is a lean state as well. if we come over here and look at the state of California and Hawaii, these are basically the only safe states on the west side of the nation. And if you go over here and you look at New Mexico and Virginia are both lean margins, with Colorado being possibly the closest state on the map. Colorado is technically the closest state on the entire map as of right now. So at this point, Donald Trump would achieve a 347 electoral college victory to Kamala Harris's 191. The reason for this is because, first of all, the model kind of shows that it's around this ballpark. Second of all, the thing that's very, very concerning for Harris is that Harris's approval rating is much lower than Trump's and even lower than Biden's. Kamala Harris, optically is not a good choice for a front running ticket. Everywhere she goes, she turns off many, many, many voters. The more people got to know her and see her, the worse it became. And in terms of her debating Donald Trump would literally smoke her in a presidential debate. It would not be close. Trump would probably end up winning, like the focus group polls that always have like the Democrats winning, the polls that had Hillary and Biden beating Trump in the polls in the debates. Donald Trump would probably be winning those focus group polls. Like it would be really, really bad. And if she were to actually, because this scenario is okay, Biden steps down, but he's still the incumbent, but she's the one running. Here, if she was actually the incumbent, like if she was legitimately the incumbent, I'm gonna just, fill these in safe just so I can change some states if necessary without having to manipulate the margins so much. But if she was actually the incumbent, this is with her not being the incumbent. If she was actually the incumbent, more than likely, this approval rating would be way worse. It'd probably be like minus 27 on the aggregate. And here, the popular vote would probably be like an 11-point lead, which is like a 16-point shift. And at this point, Colorado would flip, Illinois would end up flipping in this scenario. Like it's literally insane. Oregon would basically be on the verge of flipping at that point. New Jersey would have already flipped into the Republican column. Oregon is basically on the verge of flipping. So if she's the incumbent, I generally think Trump would get a pretty big electoral college victory. I mean, he's already leading by 8 percentage points nationally, which is like 13 points better than what he was doing back in 2020. He was at 47%. And there's still a bunch of undecideds in this poll. In this, he could hypothetically win this. If he were to win over all the undecideds, or most of them, he'd win the popular vote by like over 15 points, which at that point, that's like a landslide. At that point, he'd probably win like Hawaii. He'd probably win New York at that point. Like it wouldn't even be a competitive election at that point. Like it would be an ultimate disaster for the Democratic Party. But the model as of right now currently has a 11-point win for Trump with Kamala Harris as the incumbent. This is what the map shows as of right now. I just kind of wanted to go over my analysis on the state of the race for that because if, things were to change, I would then change the Friday prediction to Trump versus Harris because she would be the presumptive, front runner to take over. So my, weekly series can change over time, but this is me just kind of analyzing the scenario. The next one I'm going to do is probably going to be Michelle Obama, just in case that were to happen. And I'm going to go over that and show you guys why she would probably still lose to Donald Trump anyway. And so, if you guys did enjoy the video, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post bell notifications so you don't miss another video that I post. And I hope to see you guys very soon.